What's good, YouTube? DanCTA60 here with another deck profile of my Monarchs. I figured to do a quick little update, because why not? It's been a while, and I'm about to make changes to this deck. So, a couple days ago I went to locals. I did fairly decent with the deck as expected. Almost made top 8, but kind of was like not really willing to play, so I did not play to my fullest potential and losing to Raid Raptors. So it was fun to see a new deck at the locals being played, and it's a fairly decent deck now that all the stuff for it is out, but I still don't think it's going to do much. But Monarchs are definitely here and a force to be reckoned with, so let's just do a quick deck profile. 3 Ether. One of my favorites, big Monarchs, and I think is still kind of really the best one. Erebus, which is also very good, nothing taken away from him. I just think he's just better first turn, and Ether's kind of just good whenever. And good spot removal too. And for the last of the bigger Monarchs that I played was a Mega Caius and a Kuraz. This, I took out a Thestalos for this, just to try out how it played. It was very good for the matchups that I've played that day, because mostly I was going against decks that would be very hurt by this, but it was negated in the key moments where I actually needed it. I still managed to pull out the wins after this was negated though, so that's fine. But I definitely would put back the Thestalos for this and probably run this in the side deck, because you're more likely to run into those decks that are affected by this more in a bigger event where people aren't running stuff like Burning Abyss and that kind of stuff. This is pretty decent against the Mirror Match, and Burning Abyss is what I really used it on. Then I played the 3 Idea. Just not much to say, it's just a really good card. And then 3 Eidos to go along with it. See people running this down at 2. I think you should run 3 of it, just because it's a good standalone when you don't have Idea, because you can just summon it and then you got another tribute. And if you have Prime Engrave and you still need 2 tributes, or if you have Domain in hand, you just use that, then tribute this, and it's just good as a standalone. Idea itself just doesn't do anything for you unless you have this in your deck to special summon it. So yeah, this is, in my opinion, just like the better card. That it just tutors out the Idea from grave, and just, you know, it complements Idea. 2 Majesty's Fiend, because it's better than Vanities. Then, okay, I think I laid down another card. Yeah. 2 Maxis. Just 2 is fine for me. I didn't want to play 3, because I was only playing 2 Valor, and I only like playing a ratio of 2-2. The only reason I'm running the Maxis is because of the Valors, and that's the only reason. Other than that, I always find Valor is always better than Maxi, but Maxi in this format I don't think is that very good against unless you're going against Pepe and like Burning Abyss, if you run into that. For the spells, 3 Pantheism. Just the D draw of the deck, which is really good. 3 Tenacity. 3 Stormforth. Only 2 Domain, just because 3 kind of clogs, and you're less likely to run into the Pepe matchup, as most of the Pepe players moved on to Cosmos, but it's still very good against the current Pepes, because it's just the best deck still. It's hard to believe, but yeah, it's still the best deck. For more consistency, run 3 Upstarts. For the 1-0s, 1 return, 1 Foolish, 1 Reinforcement of the Army for the Idea, and the 1/1 for the Idea. And of course for the traps, just 3 prime. I'm still not running Escalation just because I don't feel like it's a card that I really want in the deck. It's not necessary. Ether does enough if you have it in hand, which return helps you to get. It's easy to search out return to get the Ether in hand, so yeah. For side deck, because somebody jacked my extra deck, so I don't have it. 1's a board for the Pepe matchup. I sided this against the Burning Abyss matchup. Never saw it. It's something. It's the only reason I like using this against the Burning Abyss matchup is to hit their other level 3s and not exactly their Dantes, because their Dantes could go off under this. But I never saw it, so my idea of siding this against the Burning Abyss is to hit all their other Exceeds, so they're forced to go into only their Dantes and have no endgame push plays when they try to go for game, for stuff like Shark or Acid Golem, anything to beat over my monsters, really, and all that, and they have to rely on their traps, which if I side in my Royal Decrees that I side, they can't use. So, but yeah, 2 Vanity's Fiend, again for the special summoning decks like crazy. 2 Sea Turtle Kaijus, just more Cosmo hate, but these are supposed to be for Fall Kings, so when I get those, these will be Fall Kings. The 1 Veiler, just because. 2 Dark Hole, 1 Regeki. I'm gonna cut one of these down because siding all 3, it's just super bad. 3 MSTs. I don't have my Twin Twisters. I still need to get some, but if I had them, I'd be playing 2 of this and 2 Twin Twister. It's just the way I like it. Sometimes you don't have the discard for Twin Twister, so if you draw into this before Twin Twisters or anything, it's just good. Or if you have Twin Twister in hand and draw top deck this for a discard, you could go either way. Like if they have 1 thing to destroy, just use this. If they got 2 things, use a Twin Twister and discard this. And then 3 Royal Decrees. I think I'm just going to run this back down to 2 because it's not very necessary in the Monarch deck, but it's like that extra, nail in the coffin against back row heavy decks. I say that only because Monarchs can power through back row decks pretty well. So yeah, this might just go down to 2. That's it for my deck profile. Stay tuned for a new deck profile of this deck that I will be working on, and that will be the Quantum Monarchs. So I'm very excited for that because I've always wanted to try the Quantums. And for the future, I will be making the Quantum deck, the pure Quantum deck, just because I like the whole idea of Power Rangers. I grew up on Power Rangers, watching that show as a kid. It just brings a lot of nostalgia out, and then putting it in Yu-Gi-Oh form, even more nostalgia. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Very exciting stuff to be putting on the channel. Thank you for watching. Peace out, YouTube.